Lauren. Today I'm going to play with some new Redken products, and we're going to do a little bit of free hand hair painting on this beautiful dog head from Hair Art. I'm not sponsored by any of the stuff that I'm using in this video. This is all just stuff I like to use, so everything will be in the description below, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.
So I'm going to be trying out today the new Redken Flashlift pods with the bonder inside. And I'm curious to find out what it's like to work with this product. I want to see how much lift I can get, and I want to see the health benefits of using the bonder inside. So I'm going to be starting with 20 volume. We're going to do a really just subtle kind of free hand painting. And in order to do that with just a regular lightener, what I'm going to do is actually mix it with Balay powder. So first I'm mixing up the Flashlift bonder inside pouch, and what happens is it just gradually dissolves as you mix it with developer. I will say after using this a few times that sometimes the pod fully dissolves no problem and very quickly, but other times there's kind of a little residue left, so just make sure to pick it out if that happens. But the cool thing that I like about the pods is the portion sizes. It just kind of gives you an exact amount every time, which is nice. Now I'm using Balay powder, and what Balay powder does is it changes the consistency of any lightener. It says you could use it with any lightener that you wish in order to create that freehand balayage hair painting like clay lightener feel with any lightener. So you could use your favorite lightener. My favorite lightener to use for freehand painting is Wella Free Light, so that's kind of what I compare it to, and I'll get into the pros and cons of using this later. But one of the main things is you can get more lift out of your traditional lightener, so that's a reason to maybe try using the Balay lightener at times. So as you can see right here, I am sectioning the hair around the hairline, and I'm just going to concentrate as much as possible around the hairline and leave a natural dimension by not painting the inside. So I'm taking pretty wide sections. I'm making sure to not penetrate down deep inside the hair, but I am making sure to saturate really nicely. So you can see it's all very, very white. That is so important. Now, if you just saw right there, I just kind of flicked away a little ball, and those get created when you use the Balay powder just a little bit, but it doesn't really affect anything. It's just kind of maybe scary to see little tiny chunks in your lightener, but overall, like you can see, this spreads really well, so it's really fun to use it if you want to stick to a traditional lightener when you're doing hair painting. So again, I'm taking those really like big boxy sections and just painting everything on the surface and making sure to saturate really nicely. And because I'm covering so much of the hair, it's going to make the effect really subtle but all over lighter with a little bit of dimension. So it's a really pretty effect. And right here, I just did a little zigzag section just to add a little bit of dimension and variation to the result that I'm trying to get. And zigzags, big, heavy zigzags, are just a great way to get more dimension. And then right here, I want you to notice the difference in my tension and elevation. So when I'm painting around the hairline, I want to make sure that I get that tension really taut and elevate it so that I can get closer to the hairline. And it just gives me a lot more control that way. So make sure to elevate it a little bit and keep as tight of tension as you possibly can. It can be more difficult to do with layers, so that's why you might want to take smaller sections if you're working with layers. And then same thing here is just making sure to keep that tension really taut and then elevating it so that you get super close and have lots of control. I like to start building the lightener in the mid shaft, that way I can push it out each direction. So instead of starting at the top or starting at the very bottom, I can start in the mid shaft, and I'm able to keep more tension because there's not so much lightener on the ends that I can't grab it anymore. And also I could just spread the lightener up, spread the lightener down, and continue to build saturation that way. And then I wanted you to notice too that I'm not using anything to separate the hair, no saran wrap, nothing. I'm just letting it kind of process in the open air because I wanted to see like what this lightener is capable of doing. So any of those things are going to like produce more heat or insulate more heat and help the lightener along. So that's why I just kind of did it in open air. And also because of the consistency that the Balay powder creates, it makes it so that it's very similar to a clay lightener. It's really, really cool. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar in the sense that you could spread really easily without the lightener kind of giving you blotches and spots in your balayage. The consistency is just amazing, so spreadable. It's really nice. And also with using the Redken Flashlift with the bonder inside, it doesn't really seem to damage the hair at all. I'm only using 20 volume, so whenever you're using something with a bonder, sometimes the tendency is to push the hair to its limits. I try never to do that anyways, but I do see an increased level of shine. It doesn't really seem like I did anything damaging to the hair, which lightener is always going to be a little bit damaging. But when I rinsed it out, and you'll see in the after, I didn't have a ton of hair falling out. It didn't look any worse than it did. You know, mannequin hair heads don't always look that great. Didn't look any worse. So I'll say that about the bonder inside. And then once again, when I'm doing this section, especially right on the hairline, right at the part line, those are, you know, like the money pieces. Those are very, very important. So I'm making sure to elevate super high so that I could get that really good tension, because otherwise it's so hard to get close enough to the scalp without it just kind of losing its shape and you not being able to get that close. So as you can see, like lifting up, getting that tension, elevating it as much as possible allows me to get super close and just really precise about where I'm placing those face framing highlights. Okay, so I've kind of just prioritized the hairline. So I did everything around the hairline first. You just saw the placement, and now I'm going to just do a little bit in the back. And I focus most of my energy and time around the hairline. And because of that, the back can be done a lot quicker. And when it comes to the pattern that I do in the back, I always just try to bring it a little bit lower than whatever I did in the front, just to follow the natural pattern that the sun does when it highlights hair naturally. And I'll just show you what it looks like once it's processing. I don't know, because it's just fun to look at. I can look at processing videos probably all day long. It's very satisfying. So if balayage, toning, anything balayage related are things that you tend to struggle with, I want you to check out my free class that I made for you. It is in the link in the description below. It's really going to increase your confidence, so make sure to check that out. And here's the after. We lifted from a natural level 6 to about level 9, 10 on the ends. Loved working with the consistency of the Balay powder and also the Redken pods with the bonder inside. All great products to use, so glad I tried them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Lauren. Don't forget to check out my free class if you want to get serious about improving your work, and I will see you soon.